He should have spoken up then around the time when he was still part of the IPL Governing Council. And let me still tell you the point that you have not answered, Rohan. My question to you is, around the time when the IPL scams have happened, the collective responsibility is of the entire IPL Governing Council, although Lalit Modi seems to have hijacked the entire blame altogether. So can Sunil Gavaskar just walk away from it today and say, I'm no longer part of it, now I'm going to make an indirect entry through a Kochi franchise, and believe that he has no moral obligation on both the fronts? How did he acquire any equity stake or whatever he's going to get from the Kochi franchise? And how can he not have any responsibility towards what went wrong? That's the point I'm asking you.
Can I answer now? The thing is, he walked away because he was getting paid an X amount of remuneration from the IPL Governing Council, which was taken away from him, and and that's why he walked away. If they were going to pay him the same amount, he would have probably been with the Governing Council, but he wasn't, and that is why he walked away from the IPL Governing Council. As for accountability, yeah, I think the entire Governing Council, all those who are involved with the IPL should be held accountable. But if you look at it, there are a lot of members of the Governing Council who were still involved in the earlier 3 editions are still involved. They've still held on to their posts. So I think if you're going to make everyone accountable, I think all should be held accountable, from N. Srinivasan to Shashank Manohar to Ravi Shastri to all those who are involved with the IPL. Not just Lalit Modi.
No, but Rohan, I come back to the point that the fact is that Mr. Gavaskar was promised a certain amount of sweat equity by the Gaikwads, who've now come out a day before the decision is to be taken on the future of this franchise and said that Gavaskar is the person who's been backing us. Naturally, this arrangement had been reached earlier, because this talk of a cricketing legend being involved is not something that happened between yesterday and tonight. It's been happening since the time the Kochi team first took shape.
Well, this sweat equity, or whatever equity he might get in this, it could be his remuneration for being cricketing head, which is come into place after he has quit the Governing Council, after he's quit the IPL Governing Council. Maybe they cannot afford to pay him in cash because they've paid a hell of a lot in getting the franchisee, and they felt the best way forward is to give him equity. Look, he wasn't given any equity before when he was on the Governing Council. So if he was not given any equity when he was on the Governing Council, there's no conflict of interest. If he does get any equity now, it's only after he's no longer with the Governing Council. So I don't see how can it be conflict of interest? If you're getting paid a certain amount for services, how is that a conflict of interest?
Okay, Sanjay, very briefly, the Governing Council meets tomorrow. Kochi fate is to be decided. What will happen in the next 20 seconds? Can you give us the answer to that before I end this discussion?
Well, let me tell you something. It's very strange that if the Kochi franchise was going down, I really disagree with Rohan that if there's a whole question mark with the Kochi franchise that we're talking about, why would Sunil Gavaskar be suddenly interested in taking a stake in it? I think that's the real million-dollar question. So obviously the fact that he's been involved with it for a long time is very, very palpable. As of tomorrow, I have a strong feeling that Sunil has got tremendous weight, and perhaps that's one of the reasons why the Kochi franchise has been given a lot of extension over the last couple of weeks. Now, as far as I look at it, the IPL Governing Council is very capable of keeping them on, because otherwise they'll be left with just 7 teams, and you have 2 teams which are going to take the IPL and the BCCI to court. So I wouldn't be surprised if somewhere down the line there is some accommodation made, but it's very obvious today that why would Sunil Gavaskar be involved with a franchise on which there was a big question mark and which is being talked about as late as tomorrow.
Well, if the Kochi IPL franchise manages to survive and play an IPL floor, it will have a large deal to do. A large part of it will be thanks to the presence of a certain Sunil Gavaskar and the equity that he enjoys in Indian cricket, the respect that he has, which is possibly why the team will still survive. For the moment, Rohan Gavaskar, for coming and giving us your father's perspective, Sanjay Jha and Bishan Singh Bedi for launching our debate. Thank you very much.